because essentially you're working with you're working with someone, you're spilling your entire life to this person. You want to feel comfortable with them. You don't want to feel like you're checking your P's and Q's and making sure you're saying the right thing. And
Hmm.
you want to be as real as possible with that person. And
Hmm.
yeah, like the only way you can really get people to do that is by being really yourself,
Right.
really who
And
you are.
it's tricky when you're a spiritual business person because you want to be like, oh, I'm professional. I know what I'm doing. Here's the proper etiquette. But
Yeah.
like as you were saying before, it's people are drawn to the authenticity, the rawness, the this. Just that maybe I want to slouch a little bit. Maybe I want to just put my hand over here. Maybe, which sounds so
They're drawn to
silly, but
somebody who's sharing from their heart and is being truly themselves and not being what they think they should be.
mhm.
Um, because that energy is far more engaging and far more palpable than prim and proper and let's present
Which
ourselves.
has its space and place for that. Nothing against
Yeah.
that,
And
but
that's
it's
how I work though. That's just
yeah,
me personally and how I work and how but because I know that the people who want to work with me are those people who are just nowheres and graces. They are themselves. They are,
mhm,
and working with me will hopefully get them even more connected with that part of themselves. Because I think,
yeah,
there's that level of if somebody is sitting opposite you and they have a clipboard and they're taking boxes and they're taking loads of notes and they're not fully engaged in you.
yeah.
They're
And I feel like the client can almost feel like they're being analyzed, which isn't always a comfortable feeling.
yeah,
And some people like that that white coat, lay down on my couch, like that old school, I would say, which it's still a current thing, but like some people like that professionalism, which is why there's plenty of practitioners who offer that.
yeah,
It's just, it's to each their own, is all I gotta say about that, honestly, because there's no right or wrong. It's,
yeah. I think the more we can lovingly take someone else's hand and be as human as possible with them and look them in the eye,
mhm,
human to human, and feel them and hear them and honor them and hold
mhm,
space for them, we are giving them the most beautiful gift that they could wish for within a session to
yeah.
be heard, to be seen, to be felt truly. And I
And
think,
without us coming off like
well,
being superior or
yeah,
higher or better or smarter or more advanced, it's none of that,
yeah,
which is what that stoic professionalism style can kind of give off as
yeah,
like, oh, I know better than you. Let me tell you what's wrong with you. And like that's not at all what we do. Like we're
no,
just having a conversation with friends and helping. That's an assisting, guiding. It's nothing like here's the answer. This is what you have to do.
yeah.
This is what you're doing wrong. Like it's
And I think when you can
mm,
truly offer that really authentic space to someone, that is going to allow them to open up in a way that mm, it's going to connect them even more to themselves
themselves.
and their
Yeah.
heart and essentially their divinity.
Hmm.
And that's for me, that's the best way to truly allow someone to reconnect with themselves at all levels and heal at all levels. So
I
that's what I
agree.
would say. And that's how I come across in all of my stuff. I'm
No,
just
it's one of the things
I'm
that I
just me.
respect and love about you is just it's what you see is what you get. And I'm always been the same. Like I have nothing to hide. I'm a goofy, weird, mixed dude that curses, slurs his words sometimes, and just
Yeah.
but
I think it makes the work more approachable as well because it's niche in some senses. It's unknown by a lot of people. But
Hmm.
I think to demystify it is to just bring realness to it.
Hmm.
And I think there's a lot of, uh, yeah, realness, realism, bringing that to the work, I think is really helpful. I think that sort of grounded kind of realism is kind of necessary with the
Right.
level of you know energy and spiritual power that we're involved with when we're doing this
Hmm.
work.
Yeah.
I think bringing that a sense of realism and um, authenticity is what's
Key.
really needed now.
I
I think
agree.
maybe with our generation, because we're about the same age, our generation of quantum healers, I think that's really what people are connecting to more. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
huge shift that I'm so honored to be a part of this wave of like it's our turn. Like
yeah,
it's if that makes sense. Like not to sound like boast, but just like we've been doing this for
yeah,
years. And all of a sudden people are just like, quantum healing, yes, I that. Like people, friends, family, people, again, for years I've been doing this, but all of a sudden, hey, let me pick your brain about like,
yeah.
oh, about finally, like, yes, let's do this. Let's do it.
It's like people's awareness is finally catching up with what we're doing here. And even
Hmm.
like when you're speaking to people, like a few years ago, when you told somebody you were a quantum healer, they'd be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Now, when you say it, people have a genuine interest in what it is that you
And
do
almost an
and that's
understanding.
for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, an understanding of why somebody may want to do something like that.
Hmm.
Um, because well, healing in general has become, or
Mainstream.
mental health,
Yeah.
therapy, all of these types of things has become so much more um, talked about in mainstream than it's ever been
Yeah.
before.
Ever,
Uh,
ever.
I mean, if, my parents' generation,
Nope.
healing therapy? God,
Absolutely
no. Why
not.
would you want to do
No.
that? Why
No,
would you
just
want to go
push it
anywhere
down,
near
push it
that?
down.
Yeah, keep it all inside. Don't touch
Yeah.
that. Um,
Mm-mm.
and that's how we got here. So,
Yeah. And that's one of the beautiful shifts that I love with healing and online work is it allows such a raw look into our lives and who we are and just how regular we are and how the same we all are. And it's just
yeah,
because we're a healer doesn't mean we're doing the healing. I shouldn't have to explain that, but I will. All healing is self-healing. We're just
yes,
guiding, we're helping heal.
yeah,
Um, and it's just the gift of the internet and virtual work is it's just a blessing. I
yeah.
there's no words, no words.
We're able to connect with people that before now we would have never been able to
Even
even
know
know about.
existed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're able to facilitate sessions that before BQH was created wasn't possible. Um,
Mhm. It
and
was
when I
more like a
think about,
woo-woo thing, I think, just more of like a Miss Cleo vibe. Like
yeah,
it was just even several years ago. As you said, like it's shifted so much, so fast. And
yeah,
I'm honored to provide what we've been doing again for years, but now that people are ready and willing and receiving, and we're going to
yeah.
infiltrate media as much as we can with the love and light.
There's also that thing as well. I find that when you're working with a practitioner in a different part of the world from you, um, I work with a lot of people in America, and
Mhm.
a lot of people in America have Celtic roots or
Yes,
Scottish roots.
yes, I do
And
too.
through working with me, they're somehow able to connect with that aspect of themselves or that sort of generational lineage And that opens up something within them.
Hmm.
Maybe there's something in my voice that helps connect with that, or maybe there's, I don't know, but there's having that ability to work with people in a different part of the world does connect you with that part of yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe you're drawn to a specific practitioner because they're from somewhere where your ancestor was from. And it
Hmm.
will bring that energy back to you and help you
Yeah.
rediscover this part of yourself. And I think that's a really beautiful thing too.
I sometimes explain it because I view it as like we are all needles. It's like, say, acupuncture. Every individual is a needle in this area, location in the world. And
Yeah.
as we connect, as we heal, as we raise our vibration, we're just hitting all those meridians and those points all over. That's how I see it, at least with the human body of Gaia and all that. Just so every time that we connect, we're just like, oh, here's another connection.
Yeah.
Here's let me release this. Let me connect. Let's yeah. It's like just makes so much
Yeah.
sense to me, but it's hard to put into words. But it's very scientific. It's
It
proven.
reminds,
It's
yeah, it reminds me of a session from a few years back where during the time of the session, there was a lot of protesting happening down in London, like a huge, big protests. I think it was like 2020 or thereabouts.
I'm sure. Yeah.
There was big protests happening. Um, I don't know if there were lockdown protests or
There were so many
mm,
during that time.
there
It's
were so many,
yeah.
but yeah, there was, yeah. Um, but during that session, the client spoke about a convergence, a meeting point of all
Hmm.
of this energy and it turning into this convergence and certain industries being exposed and people being exposed and just this huge shift in human awareness.
Hmm.
Um, and at that point she was speaking, I had this, I was just zapped with this incredibly powerful wave of energy that just came in through me and like I can't it's so hard to explain but it
It is.
felt like chills on chills on chills on chills, like goosebumps upon goosebumps upon goosebumps. It
Hmm.
was just like really powerful. And it was hot and it was cold and I was sweating and it was just like, whoa. It was really powerful. My heart was
Yeah.
just like in my throat and it was just like, I was just zapped with this energy. And I have a video of it on my YouTube channel of me being
Oh,
zapped with this energy and it felt amazing. And And I asked my clients herself, like, what is this I'm being blasted with? What is this? And
I
she was
think I
like, that
remember seeing
is,
this now that you're talking about it. Yeah.
yeah, like that is the convergence. That's the energy. You're anchoring that energy right
Wow.
now into your part of the world right now.
Right, like that
That's what's
needle.
happening.
Yeah.
Yes. And through this session and us being able to do this session, we are anchoring that energy in to your part of the world right now. And
Hmm.
there was another wave. It was like, it was like, oh, it was
Yes.
really, really powerful. And I occasionally get blasted with it when something happens. Like if
Oh
there's
yeah.
something quite powerful that unfolds, I will feel those tingles and I'll
Oh
know
yeah.
that it's a part of that energy being grounded.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's amazing for me. That's just incredible that we're able to work with energy that profound and that powerful through
Yes.
connecting with people on different parts of the world. I mean, that's
Hmm.
amazing.
It's so
And
palpable. So
yeah,
palpable.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So
Thank you for sharing that. We have to share the link to that video if you can find it. But I do
I
remember
will.
you, now that you mentioned it, I do remember you sharing that because
Yeah. It was a few
it's
years back now, but it was really, really powerful. That
mhm.
was a good session. I enjoyed that session.